My guest is all ready to go. I'm here with MP Angelique Romou, who is putting on something called Spotlight Soiree. That she's going to have to explain because I have no knowledge of what that is. But I do see people performing arts and doing a lot of wonderful things that I'm sure some people would appreciate. I know it's not for all, but when you have gotten the information, you will determine if this is something that you want to support. And by the way, you should just go out and support anything that you believe is bringing some type of benefit to our people and community. With that said, good afternoon, MP.
Good afternoon, Mendel. A pleasant good afternoon to you, and of course to those viewing on Facebook and those listening via the sounds of the radio.
Yeah. I don't know what Spotlight Soiree is, so you might as well go ahead and make us a little bit smarter about what it is and what it brings to the table.
Okay, so Spotlight Soiree is, of course, the headlining name, but you're forgetting the most important part, and that is My Angel and Friends. This is a production that I am putting on with some good friends of mine to highlight our talent in St.Maarten, but also to assist with my daughter. It's a fundraising effort because her dance school is going to LA in March, and it's not a very inexpensive venture. So having said that, of course, you need to raise funds in order to make it a reality. So about 2 years ago, my very good friend, Dr. Yadira Boston, she comes to all of the productions that Indisu Dance Theater puts on. And she's always, just, as she says, mystified by my daughter, my Angel. So she kept telling me, and this is quite a while, you need to put on a show for my Angel. You need to, give her the opportunity to highlight her talent because she not only dances, but she's a singer, and she does so much in when it comes to music as well. So we tried, we thought about it, we looked at dates, and nothing seemed to work out last year, the year before, when she came to me with the idea. So when my Angel started back dance, their dance school every other year they are invited every year for this program called Dance Excellence, which happens every year in Los Angeles, and it's a program whereby our children not only get dance classes, but they get theater. They get most of the classes they get are in the arts, so singing, dancing, the arts, acting. And they also get to perform on City Walk in Los Angeles, as well as there's a competition where they get to highlight their skills and their talent. For the past 2 times that the school participated, St.Maarten has done excellent. They get gold. And you're talking about the first time they participated, when my daughter participated, was in 2021. And at that time, they were the only island, coming from the Caribbean, going up against all of these American and other countries. And they placed gold in 2024. What are we in, 26? 2024, they went again, and, it happened again. The good thing about this program is that they're not just going and they're just not learning, but they also get an opportunity, if they're that good enough, to be chosen once I think they have to be at least 18 to get chosen for the company that travels and goes to Japan and different parts of the world to perform, which I think is really the highlight of everything for the dancers going. If you're chosen to be a part of this group, then you're spectacular. So that's one of the big highlights for the older children who go to this program. And so, having said that, we had an opportunity now because she started dancing later than usual, and then it was, is she still able to participate in Dance Excellence? Because the others had already given their time since April, that they would be able to participate. So we were faced with literally now 2 months to try to prepare for this and to raise the funds needed for her to go to Dance Excellence. And that's how my Angel and Friends Spotlight Soiree came about.
Let me ask you about Maya Angel. That, for those who don't know,
Yes,
that's your daughter.
that's my daughter.
Okay, so hence the reason for it
Yes.
being, you said I left it out,
Yes.
but I was looking at the Spotlight Story, which is, of
Yes.
course, the function
Right.
of which you're here to promote, but it involves your daughter, and
Yes,
you've
that's
explained. Yeah.
Yes.
While you're on it, how much are we doing for arts on St. Maarten, to the point that I think there's a color code for the development of arts and that kind of stuff? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Of course, the orange economy.
Orange economy. I'm wondering, what are we doing? I think we have so much talent
Yeah,
here.
we are doing. It's not about the doing. It's how much are we doing in terms of there's so much more that can be done. You have organizations like mine that go out and promote youngsters with their talent. You also have Daryl Yogg that has Let's Talk Art. You have quite a number of organizations. You have Indisu that has been, teaching our children dance for so many years. You have NIA that, initially started off as Motions, where we all, pass through at some stage in our lives in terms of learning to dance. You have quite a number of establishments on St. Maarten that help our youngsters to improve and develop their skills. But when we look at having a proper venue where they can highlight their skills and we're lacking. And that has been, and I know people that are watching and that are listening are going to say, but you're a politician as well. What have you done? And I feel like I have been doing my part as much as I can when it comes to youth and giving them a platform whereby they can exhibit their talents and their skills. But it's bigger than me. If I had $1 billion, believe you me, I wouldn't ask government, or even $1 million, I wouldn't ask government for 1 cent, in terms of us creating that state-of-the-art theater, performing arts theater that we've been talking about for so many years. It's always a promise, but we don't see it happening. And I think it's a shame when we look at, the cultural center has been there for so long, it's been serving a purpose, but it's not serving the purpose that it should be serving in the 21st century. We cannot accommodate large numbers of people in there. The place is, it needs to be better kept, and I know that, the amount of money they charge, I'm so grateful for what they're doing. And, I want to big up Kaisha, who's there for doing a good job in terms of what she's doing with the cultural center. But again, it's bigger than her. And I think that and I always say this, we have to have more public-private partnerships, because we like to look at government, but it's not only government's duty and responsibility for stuff like this that's going to help our youth. Because at the end of the day, I always say this, we have so many businesses that are thriving on St. Maarten because of we the people. If we didn't shop in their establishments, if we didn't go in and utilize their services, they would not exist. And we cannot, most of them cannot say it's because of the tourists that come, because the tourists come, yes, and they go to restaurants and they go to stores, but we, the locals and the people that live here, are the ones that contribute on a daily to most of these businesses. And I mean, I don't think I came on your program when I was, when she was going in 2024. But I was very embarrassed, and I could actually call out the store because it's right across from us. We were looking and asking some businesses to assist, and this manager, because I don't think he's the owner of the store, had the audacity to offer me $3, and I'm never ever the person to say no, I don't want it. But that was an insult. That was an insult to us as St. Martiners who have you where you are in terms of your business thriving, and telling me that that's all you have to give to the youth of St. Maarten. And this is what you encounter a lot of times. A lot of businesses help, and I'm gonna big up some of those who always help. But then there are those who are doing just as good as those who are helping that would tell you things are bad. Things are always bad but we the people are always in your establishment shopping. So I take an offense to some of the businesses who are always crying and saying things are bad, whereas they can do so much more when it comes especially to our youth and helping our youth when they're talented. Because I always say, when you help our youth, be it in education, be it in sports, the arts, you are helping to create the development, the future of your island that you're on. So I have a serious issue with that.
That can only be interpreted as somebody who could care less about anything St. Maarten. All they're concerned about is the money that they make. $3.
Yes, I kid you not. I kid you not.
And we
you
make
know,
it so easy for everyone to come in and start business without any commitment at all in the reverse
exactly
to the development of the country itself that they're making their money in. And they're never making money. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. That's a different story. As far as the arts is concerned, though, I only mention that because there has been so much talk about building a state-of-the-art performing arts
theater
center. And I think that would drive even more those people who have interest in that aspect, because that might be the best that they can do, because that's just who they are. But when you don't have the kind of facilities to encourage them to do that, then we have these young people who end up going in a different direction when in fact they would have fit perfectly.
And I
in a
know
situation like
you
that.
have seen documentaries on from artists who are thriving today who would say art saved me. And that's why I want to now talk about my little sis Nicole de Weaver, who has a program called Art Saves Lives. And art saves lives is not just a cliche, it's not just a statement, it is the truth. Art saves lives. You have a lot of youngsters who, because of arts, have gotten off of the streets. So they had a talent. Maybe they started on the streets, but because of arts and someone then recognizing and giving them that opportunity, now too can help another youngster that was where they were before. So arts does save lives. And I think when we have an opportunity to help our youngsters to fulfill their dreams and to be able to go out and showcase their talent, we should. And that's why I put on this. And as I had explained to Yadira, we're going to invite some of her friends and other youngsters who are just as talented to be a part of this, because, of course, she can't put on a show on her own. Yes, she probably could, but then it would also not be who I am to just exclude others and not include them in this, because now they too get to shine and have their spotlight, as it's called, be in the spotlight.
What is the skill that she's displaying here? I mean, I'm looking at the
dancing. On the photo, you're seeing all of the girls that are participating. You're seeing that are dancing. Those at the bottom are singers. So I'm gonna now call off some of my Angel friends that are gonna be participating in this event with her as dancers. You have, on the top of my head, I'm gonna go in height. They're listening, they're gonna kill me.
But there's
no, I know, but I mean, I have the fly, but I mean, I'm gonna go according to their height, because that's how they are practicing for, especially the fashion show part. So we have Surya Billy, she's a part of Indisu Dance Theater as well. You also have Amalia Emmanuel, she attends NIA. Then we also have Mila Gartner, who also goes to NIA. She's also a dancer there. We also have Kezia Hoover. So now we're all over the place because Kezia is a bit taller. But Kezia Hoover is also a dancer. We have Carly Nisha John. They also go to Indisu. And then we have Chanel Buckner, who also is a dancer at NIA. And we have the only male in the bunch, Ian Sorianto, who also dances at Indisu. So I think I've called up all of their names. And these youngsters are so talented. These girls and, of course, Ian, they are extremely talented. I wish I could have included more, but because of timing and the fact how it's not only dancing, it's also singing, because I've also invited all of the winners from the Interscholastic Idols competition, which was held last year, to be a part of it as well. So
that is what I'm more familiar with when it comes to you.
Yes, the singing competition. So we have the youngster Dequan Marks. He was the Cycle 1 winner. We also have the Cycle 2 winner, Marie Angel Vasquez. And then we also have the secondary school winner, who is Allison Victorine. And we have Adrian Nicasio, who has been a part of Idols from ever since we begun, and he kept participating until he won. And that's one of the things that I always try to encourage youngsters about as well. If you lose, that doesn't mean that you can't continue. And I always use Celine Dion as an example as well. She sang and she sang and she sang. And I think they said just when she was about to give up, she got her big break. And for me, Celine Dion and Whitney Houston would always be the best singers of all time for me, And so that's just a testimony to say, like, when you have a talent, of course, there are people that are going to believe in you. There are going to be people that don't believe in you. But it must start with yourself and the belief in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't exhibit that type of confidence, people are not going to believe in you either. And eventually, when you keep working on your craft, you get better and you get better and you get better.
So the talk today, folks, is all about the arts. And of course, by the way, this event is going to be held at the Cultural Center.
At the Phillipsburg Cultural Center. It's going to be this Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday, we're competing with so many other functions. When we organized it, of course, that's always the case. You didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, literally, in the second week of January, I started hearing, for example, government has their gala on that night. And there's so many things that I say competing with, because now persons have to choose, what are they going to support, and I'm here to tell them to come out
maybe
and
spark
support
their
the youth.
interest the most.
Yes, of course.
Then they
But,
would
come out and support the youth. And what I want to say is I want to say a big thank you. I see one of the donors watching right now, Mr. Binky Van Ace. What I've also done is I've reached out to individuals that I know and asked them to support by coming out and purchasing tickets. And if they can't, donate the ticket so I can then donate it to a student in turn. So I have quite a number of persons who have said, yes, we're going to do that. And I want to, I can't remember all of the names, but I have it written down. So I'm going to look in my book while we continue talking about this. And I'm going to, thank them on air for their support. And for those who are listening and want to come out, you can still get tickets at Van Dorp, Madam Estate only. And you can also get tickets from participating members and myself.
What is the price for the tickets?
The price is $50. I know it sounds a bit steep for some people. Said, that. And I'm like, yes, but it's a fundraising. And you're going to be mesmerized by this performance that these youngsters are putting on. And why not put $50 towards a good use? Put it towards our talent and come out and support them, and see what St.Maarten has to offer. And believe you me, this is just a few of the good dancers that St.Maarten has, and of course a few of the good singers. St.Maarten is just extremely filled with a lot of talented youth, and you're going to get the opportunity this Saturday to see some of them on stage.
Looking at the flyer, I'm seeing something that resembles what you would call ballerinas type dancing. Because when you say dance, for some people think differently.
Yeah, what do they think?
Well,
because I don't know. Because obviously you're thinking differently, so you should speak and explain why you're thinking differently.
Well, as a senior myself, dance back in the day was not ballerina for me. It was probably what you see the young people doing nowadays.
Which is?
You want to put me in the spot today?
Yes, in the spotlight, which is...
No, but okay.
No, the good thing
Let me see if I
is
can
that
ring out to this.
They're gonna see a variety of dances because we have, for example, one of I call her the Little Spark. She's gonna be bringing a kind of a salsa, dance. We have modern, we have jazz, we have contemporary, we have hip hop. These young girls they're so versatile because they learn all of these different types of dances at their dance schools. So they're quite versatile and they can do anything you ask them to do. So it's not I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'm gonna let you still explain what you're talking about. But I think I have an idea.
you just did it a moment ago. There's so many different types of dance.
Yes.
And for some people, they might be thinking, of one thing, and if you're going to be thorough, complete as far as making sure that people understand what will be happening, it's nice to talk about the different kinds of dances
yes.
that will be featured on that night.
So I just did.
You just
I just did. I mentioned the different types of
Yeah.
genres, and then of course the singing. And the second part of the show, we're gonna turn our singers into models. So they're all going to be, they take off their dancing and their singing caps, and they're gonna turn into models, and they will be modeling fashions from T's Closet, as well as Christina's boutique, as well as Kaylin boutique. So they're gonna be doing casual wear, semi-formal dress wear, and as well as gala dresses. So it's gonna be a full show filled with beautiful talent, and I would really like the public to come out and support this initiative. You know where the money's going. It's going towards assisting with my Angel's, dance excellence trip. And it's really a great initiative. And I just want to thank all of the parents who have allowed their daughters, my Angel friends, to participate in this, because, they could have said no. But, being a dance mom,
all of
I would
their
have...
daughters. I'm seeing guys too, so.
Yeah, because the guy, in terms of, I'm talking about the dancers now, he's older. He's an adult, so he doesn't have to get parental consent to dance. But all of the others, they are, with the exception of one, they are minors, with the exception of two. But they still have their parents that they have to adhere to, and they have to get permission from. So I want to thank them for, coming and supporting this cause, and realizing that, we are stronger together. And if Maya Angel was asked to help one of these girls or any other dancer, I, as her mother, would allow her to, because I think that's how you build a community, and that's how you build a village. You can't just think about yourself and be selfish and feel like you're the only person that can do and does, but think about everybody else. And that's why I'm extremely grateful for all of the dancers, the singers who are coming out to sing, for their parents, for allowing them to do this. And I'm just excited. I'm excited because this is not my first production, but it is the first one that I'm doing that includes dance. I've done a fashion show when I was doing, when I first started my foundation in 2004. My first stage production was actually a fashion production, and it was at a cultural center. And at that time, we were raising funds for my second production, which would have been the Miss St.Maarten hibiscus pageant that I did. So I'm no newbie when it comes to putting on shows. And then, of course, I do the Interscholastic Idol. But it has always been with and around and supporting our youth.
Okay.
And that is my big, how do you say?
Pet peeve?
No, it's not a pet peeve. It's my greatest asset to be able to help young people.
Yeah, that's true. Because you have that behind you as well. Anyhow, let's take a breather. Let's take a short break, get our commercials in, and then when we come back, folks, we'll continue to have a conversation with MP Angelique Romou. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks, and thank you for remaining there and for supporting the show throughout the years and throughout the week and the months. Thank you so very much. This is a brand new year and lots are happening. We make sure that on this platform, we bring all the information that you need to know about. And if you're interested, all you need to do is to take full advantage of the benefits that will be provided. I'm here today with MP Angelique Romou, who is putting on a spotlight soirée, which is basically soir. Well, I don't have a French tongue. So it's soirée, whatever it is. You know what it is. Let me just remind you of some of the youngsters who this might be appealing to and listening to the show, I'm sure, because their interest is always somewhere else. But the parents who probably might see a lot of talent in their children, and these are the kind of inspiration.
I'm not gonna,
You know, by the way, you could give
say as
Angelique a
yes.
call right now, folks, if you're listening and you have interest, because you've seen something in your child or children when it comes to dance and the art skills. You can probably toss a question or two to her as to how they can get involved. The number is 542-2580, 542-2764. That's for this show, but of course she'll give you more information if you need to reach out to her.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to see on this platform in particular, you have to see via when it comes to reaching those people who can benefit from the type of information that
Yes, for
is
sure.
presented.
Not only that,
Yeah.
like they might have a child that's talented, but they don't know how to get that child involved in
Yeah.
maybe a dance school or one of the program that Nia has to offer when it comes to music. So, and I am here for that. As a matter of fact, and I was just about to say, I'm not going to release that part of what I'm doing right now because I'm going to come on program to talk about that another time. Most probably at the
That what?
event, a venture that I've started. Oh, listen, you don't know who you're talking to. You can't catch me so easy. A venture that I've started, but it's really all in alignment with young people again and
Yeah.
helping them to promote their talent and getting them the well-needed assistance they need as well, in order for them to be in that spotlight.
Yeah. You know,
That's why the name Spotlight Soiree. It's not going to be the first and the last.
Mm-hmm.
It's, as a matter of fact, it is the plan to continue with this
Yeah.
annually for now, and let's see how far we can go. And then all of these youngsters who have a talent and their parents don't know how to get them in that spotlight, just reach out to me.
You know, the thing is, a lot of people, I believe, tend to have the opinion that the only way that you can be the very best is if you're the brightest when it comes to education, But you can reach that very same level of somebody who is bright.
But you know what is so funny, Wendell, is that I have a sister, extremely intelligent. She went to the Netherlands. She has her master's, really, really intelligent, bright young lady, but she's talented as well. And it's so funny because she's my father's daughter, but I come from a talented family. My mother's side, all of us sing, dance, a lot of talent, and coming from the Gibbs clan. But and my father's a Romou, so it's his daughter, and she's extremely talented. She just produced her own single, her own CD,
Okay.
because she raps. She's a rapper. She produced it on her own. She saved her money, and she produced, and it's incredible. Now I'm saying that to say it was funny because one time we were talking, and she said, we put so much emphasis into having an education academically,
Academics.
and we don't focus on some of the things that we are naturally talented with
And can
We put
be at the very
and we
highest
put it on
level.
the back burner. But the reality is, she said when she was working at one company, this young girl was like maybe 20, younger than her, but was already probably making millions from her talent, and didn't continue school, did her courses, of course, to, make her better in her craft. So I'm just saying this to say education is extremely important because I'm an educator, but we must not forget that a part of education is the arts as well.
Yeah.
That's why we now have STEAM. You know what STEAM stands for, right?
No.
You don't know what STEAM stands for? You're an educator.
I'm missing that one from the moment.
Science, technology. The E is for, I believe, economics. The A is for arts, and the M is for mathematics. But I'm just saying that this is what we are now faced with. They change it from, sorry, I said economics, I meant engineering. They change it from STEM to STEAM to include the arts, because these are all of the technical skills that one needs to survive. And we have all of our children who is good in one of those, of the abbreviations. And why aren't we, making sure that our schools are now empowering our children in STEAM? We're still very much focused on the old way of doing things, when we all know that we're moving forward in the 21st century. AI is a part of all of our lives. And our children are now becoming millionaires because of it. And here we are, want to continue teaching them in the old way. We have to get with the times. And we have to realize that STEAM is very much thriving. We are very much moving forward in this arena. And we have to give our children the opportunity to grow in what they're good at. We can no longer tell our children, oh, a plumber, what's a plumber? I tell children and I tell parents, a plumber is the person that's coming into your home, fixing your stuff that you can do and charging you his price, and you have to pay it because at the end of the day you need it to happen. So you can no longer look down on these type of jobs because they are what keep our society moving as well. So you don't have to tell your child you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor. No, they can be whatever they want, but just be good at it and make the same money that the lawyer or doctor is making.
I just wanted to make the point that academics really, I mean, somebody can excel academically, but it's the same way somebody with a talent can excel to a level that is just as on equal point with somebody who is strong in academics. And sometimes we are not seeing it in our children, and we want to steer them in one way.
Everyone. Oh, somebody's calling me.
All right, yes, you can call me here as well if you want to ask Angelique a question or two. 542-2580, 542-2764. I know one thing because I've been to some of these presentations as well, and it's a very nice feeling to see, a dance that is well, choreography, how it's shape up.
Yes, I want to thank Clara because she went into the whole. But I basically said it. I gave the explanation as to what STEAM meant, but she also added a D to say that now it also includes design. Clara, thank you for sending that to me. I can't read it right now because I'm live on Facebook and I can't access my my WhatsApp that quickly, or I can't do it right now. But thanks, I saw what you wrote. It popped up on my screen. Thanks for letting me know that there's also now design on it. So it's now steamed. But it's extremely important for us to realize that this is the world we're living in. And we can no longer have our children feeling like they're inferior if they're not doing well academically. I want to take this opportunity to big up Bibi Bad as well, who is a local St.Maartener. She is a Dijkhoff, Bianca Dijkhoff, who I can remember having Bibi, and it's so funny because I sent her a text earlier this week to motivate her and inspire her to continue doing the great job she's doing. I remember Bibi coming on my radio program. I have a radio program with the youth on
Saturdays, yes.
On Saturdays from 11 to 12 on SOS Radio with Uncle Billy D. And I've been doing that now for 15 years. And Bibi came on, I don't remember which year. And she came on because she was sharing with us her plight as a student at St. Dominic's School and explaining that, she was having so many challenges academically, but she was always a bright star. She was a dancer, I'm sure she can sing. And at one point it was like, okay, I'm going to pursue this career. And she's traveling the world doing what she loves and making money and doing well. And, I would like her to, sometimes when she's here, also go on programs like this and talk about her experiences doing what she loves as an artist. For parents to listen and to understand, because there's not every child is going to do extremely well academically. Everybody has their strengths. We have our weaknesses. But when we focus on our strengths and we make them stronger, we are then, able to be the best at whatever we want to be because we're doing what we love. And I think that's what we now have to instill in our children. And I always tell people, for me, what's important is a happy, healthy child rather than a depressed child who is just going with the motion and doing what they do because I am telling them to do so. And that's why I support my children in everything they do. I have my daughter is extremely intelligent, but she's extremely talented as well. So she can go any route she wants to. But what I'm trying to tell her right now is, you're young now. Your needs and the flexibility and all of that you have, you have it now. Utilize it now in this present moment. Because when you get older and you pass a certain age, and we all know the industry, if it's singing, acting, whatever, they're always looking for young talent. When you pass a certain age, they're going to look at you, but they're going to look for the younger one first. So I tell her, she wants to do study medicine. And I told her, it's great, and I'm backing you. But know that medicine you can study anytime. But now if you really want to pursue a career in the arts, now is the time. You're young, do it now. And that's how I speak to my children. I encourage them to do what they love now. And, some parents disagree with me. Some parents say, no, but you have to have something to fall back on. Of course, they're young, and you could be anything you want to be at any point in your life as long as God gives you the health and the strength to do so. So for me, you could study to be a doctor at any age once you're capable to do that. But your knees and that strength in your limbs, you don't have it at any age.
All the time.
Have it now.
You have it now.
You make use of it now.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I would like people to realize, and I don't know if we are doing enough, but we have to find ways to create the avenue where young people can spread their wings and be at their very best. And that is supported when we put facilities in place to motivate them and to encourage them to do these things. And I don't know if we are thinking enough
also,
of what are we
while
doing
we're
for our
talking,
youngsters.
I also want people to know that on that evening, I'm going to be recognizing five individuals in the arts that I feel has contributed so much to St.Maarten. And like, for me, they're icons, and I believe in giving people their flowers while they are alive.
Yeah.
And so if you come out, you're also going to be able to see, who these individuals are. And, share in that moment of grace and honor, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be honoring them for all of the hard work they've put into our children, in the different areas of the arts over the years.
For those who are latecomers, we about have to wrap it up.
We
So
have to wrap up?
please use this moment to let everyone know what would be happening this coming Saturday.
This coming Saturday, the 31st of January, we are going to be witness once you purchase a ticket, and if not, then you're missing out, to Spotlight Soiree, the first of its kind, My Angel and Friends, whereby my daughter, My Angel, and her friends are going to be exhibiting their talent. So while her friends who are on the poster with her are going to be dancing, she's also going to be singing. We're also going to be featuring the youth band that she's a part of from the Phillipsburg Methodist Church. So she's going to have her solo, she's singing, but she's also going to be singing with the band and dancing as well. And they're also going to have group dances as well. We're also going to have the winners of the Interscholastic Idols participating as well. And you're going to have the ending of it all, a fashion show. And you don't want to miss this. It's going towards a great cause. It's $50 a ticket, but we're also going to have, or we're allowing children to purchase tickets for $25. So I want to say that. So it's $50 for adults, $25 for children. And that is school-going children, of course. And
Where?
It's going to be held at the Phillipsburg Cultural Center. Before the show starts, between 6:45 and 7:45, there's going to be a kind of a meet and greet. There are going to be vendors there who are going to be selling goods that you can purchase. And, mingle a bit with all of, the people come and get to know some of the persons there. And it's just going to be a night of entertainment, showcasing our youth talent. And again, recognizing those who have paved the path for our youngsters to be where they are today.
An evening of dance, music,
and fashion. Yes.
And see people performing in the arts, folks, which is somewhat different to what we might be familiar with on a regular basis, but very inspiring.
The show starts promptly at 8, I must say that. So the doors are going to close at 8 because we're going to have a catwalk. And once that catwalk is put out, we're going to put it out during the second segment because persons have to walk to their seats, of course.
Yeah.
But once the catwalk is out, you can no longer access seating. So
you should be seated first.
They need to be seated. So the show is going to start promptly at 8. Hopefully everybody gets there on time. They have a whole show experience that they could experience. They could also take pictures in front of the beautiful picture area that we have set up and that for that evening as well. It's just going to be a beautiful soiree.
I hear.
And the colors are white with a touch of gold or rose gold.
You're talking about a
the
dress
persons,
code?
yeah, they can dress in white with a touch of gold or rose gold, but they are free to dress as they please. But
Yeah.
that's the theme for the night.
All right.
White with a touch of gold or rose gold.
Success.
Thank
and
you.
hopefully you'll get the kind of support that is
Yeah, I want to
needed
thank all
so
of
you
those
can
already
push.
who have pledged their support, those who have purchased tickets, those who are coming, those who have purchased tickets and said donated to a student. I want to thank all of these people. There's quite a number of them, but they know who they are, and I'm extremely grateful for their help.
But that will be the final word, folks. Thank you so much for joining me on Viewpoint. I'll be back again tomorrow.
Wait. Just I have one other thing. I want to thank Ami Rashad because I see he's watching. Ami, and also Naomi. Naomi, why can't I remember Naomi's last name right now? But anyway, Naomi's the choreographer for the girls, and also Ashley Matzer. They've all helped the youngsters, and Ami's helping them with the fashion show part of it.
All right. I think this is the final one this time. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow. Join us then. In the meantime, goodbye. Over to the newsroom we go.